And thanks so much for tuning in to the Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth. We are continuing on in the book of Psalms. Today we're going to be in Psalm chapter 13. This is another shorter chapter in the Bible, so I'll be able to read the entire thing. But I want to encourage you, it is a shorter one. Would you read it through a couple different times? Would you meditate on it? Maybe even do a word study. This is a psalm of lament, another psalm that David is really crying out to the Lord. He's in despair. He's running for his life. He's the anointed king. However, so much of his later in life, he's running for his life because he's experiencing such opposition. Prior to being king, first he was being sought after with Saul, and then after that, his son Absalom. I mean, what a disaster that was. Now, ultimately, he prevailed, and then his son Solomon became king and not Absalom. But man, it was painful years that David had to go through. And in the midst of it, listen, in the midst of that pain, in the midst of the suffering, in the midst of the uncertainty, listen to what David says in Psalm chapter 13. "O Lord, how long will you forget me? Forever? How long will you look the other way?" And sometimes, just think about that. This is David. The Bible says a man after God's own heart. And listen, I'm going to read that verse one more time, because how relatable is that one verse to all of us today? "O Lord, how long will you forget me? Forever? How long will you look the other way?" And sometimes it can feel that way. It can feel like, man, I'm not catching a break here, Lord. Where is that promise? Where is that fulfillment? Where is that abundant life? And we can feel this frustration and maybe even this anger. And this is David here, and he's venting. He's like crying out to the Lord. How relatable is that to many of us today? Listen, he continues on. He says, "How long must I struggle with anguish in my soul, with sorrow in my heart every day? How long will my enemy have the upper hand? Turn and answer me, O Lord, my God. Restore the sparkle to my eyes, or I will die. Don't let my enemies gloat, saying, 'We have defeated him.' Don't let them rejoice at my downfall." So he's crying out. He's like, I need a break here. He's saying even, "I restore the sparkle in my eye." He's feeling depleted. He's feeling just isolated. But then he doesn't stop there. Listen to the last two verses in chapter 13. Verse 5 says, "But I trust in your unfailing love. I will rejoice because you have rescued me. I will sing to the Lord because he is good to me." What a perspective that David had here. Yes, he's in the middle of just turmoil and pain and suffering, but yet he says, in the midst of it, he says, "But God, I trust you." I don't know what you're going through today, but would you say, "God, I don't understand, but God, I trust in you. Your love is unfailing." Listen to the last verse again. "I will sing to the Lord because he is good to me." Even if you don't have a good voice today, would you choose to worship him? Would you choose to sing to him today, because he is faithful? His love endures forever. Hopefully that gives you some encouragement today. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for the Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth.